Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, pop and lock and salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the
Interesting thing happens in Tu's life yesterday. Somebody tried to sell me a fire truck, but it wasn't their fire truck. They said, you need to buy my neighbor's fire truck. I was like, well, that's interesting. Why do you care if he has a fire truck or not? And apparently it's not the fact that he has a fire truck. It's the fact that when he gets drunk, he climbs on top of the fire truck and uses the PA system to yell at his neighbors. And I'm like, that's beautiful. Like,
that's something.
I'm
All
actually
right. I don't know if
legitimately
beautiful would
interested
be
right
the word I'd put to it, but sure, that's something.
But my neighbor has a fire truck. And so we could be sitting on our fire trucks, just yelling at each other.
That would be a spectacle. That would be a news story. And if that became a headline where Twos was on a fire truck yelling at his neighbor,
in the mashup.
we'd have to cover it in the mashup. Yes, we
Yeah,
would.
like if you just saw the headline of just drunk neighbors get matching fire trucks to yell at each other.
That'd probably be happy news. Honestly, man,
I would. Yeah, I think it's great.
it'd be funny. We'd have a good chuckle about it. It'd probably rival the story of what was it, the goat or the sheep down in California that got stolen after it was sold at an auction. You remember that?
Yeah,
Like,
that was a while back.
That was a while back. Happy Festivus, everyone.
Happy Festivus.
One of the things we do here on the Mashup, if you're new to this, is once a year we do a Festivus episode. Now, in the background, leading up to this, you're like, well, why isn't it at 10? Why didn't we do this in the evening? Why didn't we do all that stuff? Because both me and Twos have been called idiots already by significant others for not realizing where the schedule was going. And it's like, well, we could squeeze it in here because I suggested to Twos, well, maybe we just forego the Festivus for a year. And the look I got for suggesting such a thing was Twos almost came through the screen. So we're here. We're early. We hope you've got a cup of coffee, or a cup of Joe, a cup of something. And
I'm sure you got a few people who are going to be looking for us at 10 o'clock. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, like you were early. Yeah. Well,
it's Christmas time.
It's Christmas time, and there's a lot going on. And happy Festivus.
Happy
Twos,
Festivus.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Sean. And you know what? I have a present for you.
Okay. Well, the last present I got from Twos was the Bud Light Memorial Employee of the Year.
Employee of the Month.
Employee of the Month. Yes.
Yes.
Should have been the year.
Yeah, you got it. You've actually still been Employee of the Month consistently.
That's correct.
I should just be sending you little placards to just start filling the sides of that trophy. Yeah. June 2024.
Sean Newman.
Here's our correction. So last week we were talking about
zoom in on it. I can hardly see the numbers. Can you zoom in on that?
All right.
Keep coming. Right there. Okay, all right. We're good.
Okay. So here's the vig is that last week we were talking about the Alberta pension plan and how guys like Max Fawcett, we didn't mention him specifically, but he was like, oh yeah, you guys just thinking you're entitled to over half of it and you're only entitled to 25%. Well, here's the thing is roughly speaking, Alberta is about 10% of Canada's population. And so if you have 10% here and 90% here, and I had said that we pay 2.5 times more than everybody else, but technically what would have been right was 2.5 times more than the average. Here's the thing, though, is if you take Alberta out of it, it gets even more stark. So if Alberta at 10%, which is their numbers, Alberta is 25% of the contributions at 10.5, and 90% does 75% of the contributions, then the ratio is 2.5 to 0.833. And when you actually look at the ratios separated, we contribute triple what the rest of the population does. So this is their math. Their math is you guys are crazy. You're out to lunch that you think you should get over half of the pension. You're only contributing 3 times as much as the rest of Canada.
Does anyone else feel like you showed up to the last day of school? You know, you're told you're going to get popcorn, you're going to watch a movie or two, maybe a gym class, maybe a outdoor for recess, and then you show up and they want you to do math, and you're like, "Oh, we're not doing any math today." I just listed the twos, do his correction, and I'm like, right over my head. I already know Alberta's getting screwed. I get it.
Well, Alberta's getting screwed,
Festivus
but I
is in-
understated how much they were getting screwed.
Festivus, airing of the grievances. No math today. We're not doing
Well,
math
here's
today,
my
folks.
grievance is that we are getting screwed.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Okay. A couple of things here.
Mhm.
Okay. So today is not like any other mashup. Okay. We're going to talk a few different things. It's kind of like a year in review for the mashup. Kind of.
I got to throw in a few current things because there's
Tues-
some noteworthy things
Yeah.
that happened over the
Twos
past
is
few
like,
days.
did you pay attention to the news headlines? I'm like, no. After the last mashup, I pretty much turned my phone on mute and have been disappeared from life for disappeared from the social media for a couple of days. So happy Festivus, Twos and Sean. Thanks, Kevin. And we're gonna try something today. Yes, we are, Michelle. We are really early. She says, "Wow, you guys are early." Yes, we are. We're gonna try something about halfway through. We're going for an hour today, and we're gonna put the link for StreamYard in the comments. And we're gonna let a few of you come on if you want to ask a question, have a comment, and then we'll boot you out and we'll talk about it, or I don't know. We're gonna put something out on Festivus. Why not? Airing of the grievances.
Yeah. So if you're set up where you could be able to show up on a live stream, look into that, tinker with it a little bit, and watch for the link.
Yes, because if Chase Barber can do it from the side of the road on an election live stream, people could probably figure it out too. People probably could figure it out. We were trying to figure out the stupid call-in thing, and it's proven a little more difficult than not initially thought, because we've been messing with this for a while and it won't seem to work. So, yes. Now,
yes,
it is Airborne Friday. Shout out to Jamie Sinclair and the boys. Shout out to the Coots 6.5. All right. It's Christmas time. I hope a few letters got through their way. I know the postal strike really messed that up. So, yeah, that I got my thoughts there. I wanted to talk about the top headlines of the year. Okay, I don't know.
Determined how.
Just in memory, like I'm like I
The ones
really
that stand out.
Yes, the ones that just came up.
Okay.
I would love if the audience would comment their thoughts on, maybe you don't need to have the exact headline, the top story that you thought was covered here or happened in 2024. For me, 2024 will always be remembered from the other Randy. I don't know if I can ever, like, the day we find another Randy Bissonneau, Strong Eagle Man, will be a happy day for me. I was upset about that at the start of the year. Now I'm kind of sad to see the storyline fading.
When you say upset, you mean like you're like, why are we talking about this?
No, upset like I can't believe we're this dumb. And now, like, how can he say that? And it's just like, it just carries on. Now I'm like, I hope we find somebody that dumb again so we can talk about it for a year.
Well, politics being what they are, I don't think we're going to have to look too far.
You're probably right. But I mean, the other Randy, and the fact that there's so many layers to that, just so many layers. Strong Eagle Man coming out, you're just like, oh.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was pretty good. I'm just trying to think. I didn't even think about, what was my favorite one or anything like that. And I'm drawing a blank, but there was some really absolutely silly, goofy things. I think one of the ones that I really enjoyed, because it was such a callback to the start, was when we did the follow-up on the fallout of that guy making the super bighorn sheep.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but it was neat because we covered this in like Mashup 20 or something like that. Like, it was years ago. And then all of a sudden, years later, it was like, oh, hey, remember we talked about this? This is how long this guy's going to jail for. This is what happened with the court case.
I also I like the recent one of yours too. The postal strike headlines. I don't know anybody else, but I enjoy it. We changed up something this year, where halfway through the year, we stopped letting me read the headlines before I read them. Right, that way it's like it's fresh. I'm getting it like fresh as soon as we hop on here. I've never seen them before, and Twos hides them from me and does a bunch of different things, so I can't see them. And the reading the postal strike headlines was a highlight of my mornings. I don't know about everybody else, but that was a ton. That was a ton of fun. That was a ton of fun. And if we can find any way to recreate that, I would enjoy that as well. I mean, that's
Well, I mean, I
kind of
work at it every week. I think my favorite headline from this year was India Justin and the Travel of Doom. For his incredibly botched trip to India. Well, his latest, most incredibly botched trip to India. But here's the thing, Sean. Like, if you're worried about, when are we ever going to find something like the other Randy? When are we ever going to see something as ridiculous as this or that or whatever else? I present to you things that came out over Christmas. Global Affairs Canada spent over $3 million in taxpayer dollars on alcohol.
$3.3 million on booze between January 2019 and May 2024.
Over 200 other agencies were not accounted for in the CTF tally. This is one department of the government spending $3 million on booze. Works out to something like $60,000 a month.
3.3. What is that? Is that 5 years? A little over 5 years.
Yeah.
That's $660,000 a year.
Yep.
That's $55,000 a month. I mean, it'd be a little less than that. Holy Mackinac. Think about that.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, if we worked there, we wouldn't be drinking coffees in the morning.
I just $55,000, like.
Well, I mean, you got this ridiculous sense of entitlement, Sean. I mean, look at this. So this is from the page Ranting and Raving in the Kootenays. Rant to some bozo at Red Mountain. I've never been so angry after a day at Red Mountain. Some self-important big shot showed up with an entourage of security, and they absolutely ruined the entire experience for everyone else. This guy and his goons thought they were too good to wait in line, cutting ahead of families and kids like they own the lifts. I don't know who he was, but the arrogance was disgusting. Who the hell shows up to a public ski hill and acts like this? And if that wasn't bad enough, his crew completely clogged up the Josie Hotel and the Velvet. The lobby was a zoo. Bodyguards everywhere, barking orders, acting like regular people were in their way. The bar was packed, the staff seemed stressed out, and the whole place felt like a circus. It's a ski lodge, not your personal clubhouse. If you're so special, go rent a private chalet instead of stomping all over everyone else's vacation. Now, for those of you who don't know who that might be talking about, that's where Justin Trudeau was a couple days ago.
Yeah, he can't leave soon enough. He can't leave soon enough. If there's one story I want to keep talking about, Randy Bissonnette, right? Like, that story can't die for me. Like, if there's just a way that it just lives on in infamy, and we were to have a segment of the other Randy, I would totally talk about that. Justin Trudeau, on the other hand, I'm like, one of the things we are going to have to do in 2025 is have federal election live stream coverage. It's going to be a ton of fun. We're going to have so much fun on that day. We're going to bring in people from all over Canada. It is going to be a ton of fun.
I am going to be embarrassingly drunk by the end of it, I feel like.
And I will make up for that by not being embarrassingly drunk. Now, that being said,
you mean to tell me that if you're watching the election unfold and seeing the absolutely horrible demise of such a shitty politician leading a horrible party that gives zero fucks about accountability or the money that they take from us, you're not going to be just drinking copious amounts of overjoyed scotch?
I'm telling you right now, I'm going to hold it together for all of us. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold it together for all of us, but it's going to be a night.
I'm going to drink for all of us.
It's going to be a night, a day to remember. And I think if there's one story I can't wait to not stop talking about, because certainly Trudeau will find a way to come up in our headlines. I feel like for a
I
long
want
time.
him to stay on as leader of the Liberal Party forever.
Yeah, but he's not going to. Right? Like
He's going to go back to being
I
a
hope-
part-time snowboard instructor?
I don't know what he's going to do. What is he going to do after?
Nothing. A, he doesn't have to do anything.
True.
And B, he's completely unhireable. Like, who the fuck, aside from he's going to be leading the Trudeau Foundation because it's his fucking organization, even if he's, arm's length from it right now, supposedly. But that's it, basically. And even then, if they've got a half-decent board, they're going to say, look, you're not what we're looking for in terms of getting donations. So that's going to be it. That's going to be all.
Kelly Lloyd asks, where's the party? Now, this is an interesting question, too. So, Lise Merle, guest of the show, has suggested that we have a party somewhere in Western Canada. And me and you are like, well, we got to do a live stream. What are your thoughts on doing a live stream from a location where people could show up and have a good time? It's a big idea. I know.
Interesting. I think it would be a lot of fun for the people there, and you'd have a whole bunch of random drunk people walking past going, wow, fuck Trudeau.
But how cool would that be? Honestly,
you know what? How about you have, the regular election coverage, and then you have somebody going live to a bar. Like instead of going live to UCP headquarters.
We have a bar. We're in a bar at a certain location where everybody gets together, and we're live there with, like, I don't know, a guy like Marty up north, like we did it last time, except now he's at a bar instead of
yes
UCP headquarters.
See, and then the suggestions are coming up. Regina and Saskatoon. Like,
you're thinking it. You're thinking
studios. No, I'm thinking the studios set up in Lloyd. But yeah, actually, you know what I mean? If we're going live to a location.
Come party in Lloydminster?
Yeah.
Lloydminster.
Everybody in Saskatchewan, a bunch of 18-year-olds in Saskatchewan are going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll be able to drink.
It's true.
But yeah, it's I think if you did something like that, where we're just like, we're going live to a bush party. And
live in the ravine, live at the sand pit. Where did you guys party when you were kids? Small town Saskatchewan. Where was the place outdoors? There had to have been a place.
There was just this bush that everybody had gone to for generations, kind of down by the river. Yep, and that was it.
Down by the river.
Cardiff. Murray Henderson suggesting Cardiff. I got a good buddy of mine who'd say that's a hell of a good idea.
I don't know. It's something to roll around for everybody listening and watching. He's like, does everybody want to meet up, or do they want to just be able to sit at their house? How
about this? Book the arena. What if we just booked a venue?
That's what but think about it.
But that's like, what if we just, instead of just showing up at a bar, what if we just booked a venue and had a party?
I think of like, you do a bar. Okay, so pick a bar, have the election live stream coverage on the screens. Everybody shows up, has a good time. We have somebody who's live on location.
And then we just show up after the live stream.
Sure. I don't hate the idea. I don't hate the idea. I just know that, like, we're all sitting here, like, waiting on the election to happen. We've now done BC, Sask, US. Alberta was our first go around, but this year we did 3 election live streams. They were all
within
hits.
A month.
Correct. They were all hits, and they were all working towards the federal election.
Yeah, this is basically going to be the Avengers.
Yes, this is going to be something.
So,
and like I don't know, it's gonna be a big deal. I mean, here in Canada, it's gonna be a big deal. One way or another, it's gonna be a big deal.
Well, I mean, you think about it. Like, Ecos just did a poll, and Ecos is voice of Frankie on Twitter, that fucking crazy idiot who you think, how the hell is this guy in charge of something that's supposed to be unbiased? Maybe we just have a bunch of parties. Like, wouldn't it be cool if there was, I don't know, a dozen, 20 different arenas that got rented out by various people to just throw Trudeau as fucking
Yeah, maybe we
done
just leave it in
parties?
that. Michelle has said you could have a live on location remotes from a whole bunch of places. I mean, in fairness, that worked too.
Yep.
It's whether or not people want to get together. And we're talking specifically about the Mashup group of people, right? Like,
Mhm.
there's a whole cast of characters who watch this. And it would be for you, right? Because obviously we'd be doing a live stream. And that night we'd be able to come out. But in fairness, I'm like, I don't know. Do I want to go to a playoff Oiler game? I don't know if the Flames are going to make it this year. Sorry, Twos. Not really. The Oilers going to make it to the playoffs. It's like, do I want to drive up to Edmonton? Do I want to go to Rogers Place? Do I want to experience it? Yeah, kind of. Do I just kind of want to sit on my couch and have a few friends over and watch it there? Yeah, kind of. So I can make the case either way.
Well, I'm thinking, like, not even a concerted mashup effort, but wouldn't it be interesting if so many people across this country hated Trudeau so much that they just rented out arenas to have big parties in? Because, I mean, you look at it like this Ecos poll I was just mentioning, he's within like 2 seats of losing party status. He's basically about to get Kim fucking Campbell.
We got a morning, gentlemen. I'm not senior producing anymore, and I can be a live hit guy. Well, there you go. We got somebody out in BC. I don't know. I tell you what, we're going to talk a heck of a lot about this. Whether he gets Kim Campbell or not, Twos. We both believe, I think, that no matter what, Trudeau ain't stepping down. And everybody's wondering if you can believe Singh. And I'm like, it doesn't matter anymore, right? Singh's going to get his pension. And at some point, that excuse of not doing it is going to fade away. So does the election happen in October, or does it happen in like April, May, June? I don't know when. The answer is yes. It just happens. And when the day gets announced, the Mashup is going to have a live election stream for the ages. We are prepped. We're assembling the Avengers. We're going to have way too much fun on this side, and we want you all to be a part of it in whatever form you want, and we will do our very best to try and make it happen. How's that?
Well, not we're going to do our best to make it happen. Something big is happening. Absolutely.
Sure. I'm just saying, if people want to sit on their couch, great. We'll have people come in live from their couch and be like, we got 50 people over here in Lumsden. I can just see Henry and Jamie, right? And they just come in for, like, literally, we want to bring in all parts of Canada on this, right? So you sit in Nova Scotia by yourself and you just want to be like, hey, we want to have you. We want to have everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And even Nova Scotia, it looks like they're going to be voting up the Liberals. So, I mean, like, what we're looking at right now is the decline, like just the very fast and steep decline. The wheels have really come off of this thing, not unlike this cop car in Calgary.
Somebody stole the wheels off a cop car?
So the cop car got left, it was parked out front of a Walmart in Calgary, and somebody put it up on blocks and stole the wheels off of it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
well, that's kind of funny.
yeah. So,
that's the state of Canada right now, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, the one video I did see, like literally just hopping on Twitter this morning, what the heck happened at West Edmonton Mall the other day with like a
50-person brawl?
A 50-person brawl in Edmonton.
I'm guessing it was Tukes versus helmets.
Shirts versus skins.
Yeah. I'm guessing it was some Palestine-Israel thing.
Yeah, I seen they clogged up a place in Toronto, wasn't it? Toronto? Somewhere over there.
Yeah. I had a big picture of Netanyahu, maybe? I can't remember. Yeah, it's that whole thing's gotten interesting. It's funny how no one's claiming that that's a peaceful protest. There's no bouncy castles. There's no hot tubs. There's nobody going around afterwards and picking up garbage. Amber says, I know someone that stole a hubcap off the cop car while they sat in it.
Ballsy. Oh, goodness gracious.
I've always thought it'd be really funny. You know how there's that on the back of the RCMP cars, they've got the Mountie on the horse holding up the flag.
Yep.
If you just put a little sticker of a woman laid out with a walker right underneath it, like if you just got a matching sticker so that horse and that rider are trampling over a woman in a walker.
And stick it on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. With 25 minutes in, we got 35 minutes ago. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link in on X. I'm going to put it in a comment on I think Facebook. It should show up everywhere else, I think. And we're going to keep going. But all I want to do is give the option if somebody wants to hop in, have a comment on the mashup this year, ask a question. We'll let you on for, I don't know, a minute. If nobody shows up, fine. We'll just keep doing what we're doing. Because I know that StreamYard, it's going to take a couple seconds or a couple minutes for people to be like, what? And then to try and figure it out. So we got plenty of time. Either way, it's in there if anybody wants to hop on and have their say on the mashup this year. One of the other headlines, too, is that, I got to just pull it up here. What do you result? But this year we're looking pretty good. And I look forward to playoffs in 2025.
Oilers suck. Oilers suck.
Here, I wanted to show this. I suggested, Sean, that we should try and get this guy on to talk about his there's prophets in every era. And this gentleman just started a religion. And I hear it and I want to hear more. And so we're like, we should just get this guy on to just show up just hammered at 10 in the morning and talk about it. This is probably the best thing I saw on the internet.
I started a religion and it revolves around drinking beer, putting speakers on a wall, blasting rock music, and evading taxes. If that aligns with your bullshit, you gotta join our church. It's called the Church of Sound. Lose some, it's all the same to me. Come rock the fuck out on our giant wall of speakers where we are the Church of Sound.
The Church of Sound.
Yeah, brother. I don't say agree. The only card I need is the Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades, come on. Come rock the fuck out. Give me a hell yeah, and I'll DM you with our church's rules. Going with the flow, cause it's all a game to me. Hell yeah, brother.
Jack says N2's is right.
Yeah. I'm not sure which part of that it was, but
I think people just come to realize by now if they say that, they're going to get commented on. So, what are you going to do? Yeah.
It's all good. Did you hear about that congresswoman in the States?
What?
So, missing Congresswoman Kay Granger, who hasn't been seen for 6 months, was found living in a dementia care facility.
Say that one more time.
So, Congresswoman in the States.
Yes.
Who's been in office for almost 30 years. She's 81 years old. Nobody'd seen her for 6 months. And then she got found in a dementia home.
Oh, my. Oh, my. That pretty much sums up politics, doesn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, like, you think about all the government spending, right? And you're like, that would never work in the private world because eventually they'd be like, listen, you spent X, you're making that, and like it doesn't add up. The next one is like, you didn't show up to work for 6 months.
Yeah.
That is government. Hey, Jack, appreciate it. Says just
So,
overall.
I mean,
Choose is right, just overall, but he loves this guy too. All right.
so, and that's the thing, is she was still Kelly, exactly right. She's still getting paid.
Wow.
You don't
You're
show
funding
up
her
for
dementia
money.
care.
Well, I mean, that stuff isn't going to pay for itself. Jesus Christ. But this is why, well, here's the thing. People say this is why you need term limits. I would say that's not why you need term limits. And it's funny, Tarek Al-Naga, he is a big proponent of term limits. And, when he was running for leader of the Maverick, he said, hey, you know what? I'm just going to make sure that, it's just 2 terms and then you're out. And he presented it as an idea, but, in one of the very limited times that I'll give him shit, I don't think he did a great job of explaining it. And to me, the realization came when we were talking about Trump and how he can just do whatever the fuck he wants because he doesn't have to worry about getting elected again. He doesn't have to do things that are popular. He has the power now, if he so chooses, to do things just because they're right, just because they'll actually, in theory at least, make America great again. And so, he's not limited by the idea of, well, I have to worry about getting reelected. It's not, I'm going to take a principled stance on COVID restrictions or gun control. And I don't care if I get pilloried by the media because who gives a shit? I'm out of here in 3.5 years anyway.
Did you see Trump's tweet about asking Wayne Gretzky to run for prime minister?
Yes. So, I mean, it's funny. You've got...
What do you make of all this Trump and governor talk? And do you think he's just trolling Justin Trudeau for the time being until we get a new leader?
Well, he's trolling Justin Trudeau, and he's trolling a bunch of people that take themselves way too fucking seriously. All these talking heads and everybody trying to present, nuanced viewpoints of what it would look like or why we're better than the idea of joining the states and how unpatriotic it is and whatever else. The first couple were because it was funny, and now he's just doing it because a bunch of idiots can't realize that he's just taking a piss. Like there was this whole segment on the CBC. Daniel, like they were asking Daniel Smith about it and going on. And you're like, look, this is just a guy. He's doing this because you're stupid enough to make a big deal out of it. That's the only reason why he keeps doing it. The Panama Canal thing, it's interesting. I don't really know the history of it, but there might be, I don't know, he might be able to push for some kind of a revenue sharing or something like that. But as far as the 51st state thing goes, it's just him fucking around with people that
don't realize that.
Yeah, he's basically just playing with a cat and a laser pointer. And
everybody, and it's funny, everybody is the cat having way too much fun right now.
Well, even Kevin O'Leary. So Kevin O'Leary is like, well, you know what? If we're going to be talking about this seriously, I should take point in the negotiations. And you're like, okay, fair enough. This is the first time anybody's heard your name in the past few years. But come on, dude. Like this is silly. And Kevin O'Leary, who I think is a pretty good dude for the most part, he says a lot of interesting things. I like his approach to business as much as, it maybe comes across as a little bit unvarnished. But I've never heard anybody call him Mr. Wonderful except for himself. His Twitter name is Kevin O'Leary, aka Mr. Wonderful. And it just really sounds like the kind of nickname you give yourself.
Yeah, I think Kevin O'Leary's having fun with it too. I think it's just a way to get in the spotlight, Trump's setting like what's trending. He talks and it trends. So
he absolutely is. But it's interesting. In the wake of all this Trump stuff, nature is healing. I had a really interesting Christmas for a few different sort of anecdotal points. It turns out my brother-in-law was in Kid Rock's bar the night of the election. And
where's Kid Rock's bar?
In Nashville.
Okay.
All right. He said it was just incredible, but he ended up getting so drunk he doesn't remember lots of it. And then my aunt, who disagrees with me politically about just about everything, huge fan of the CBC, the only place she tunes into, bless her heart. But she, she gets out of the car and out there helping unload and everything like that. And she's like, I made some cookies for you, or I made some treats for you, but it's the last time I'm going to make them. And I'm like, sorry, did I do something? Like, are you mad at me about something? Because she's got a few things that she makes every year that I know she specifically makes because they're my absolute, like, she makes some things that I absolutely love. And so she every year they get thrown in the mix. But I was like, what's going on? And so she shows me this. She made these, well, it kind of over, but she got these this Justin Trudeau cookie cutter. And so it just got presented as a joke because she's like, yeah, it's the last time I'm ever going to be able to use this cookie cutter because it's going to be obsolete right away. And we were just having a laugh about the fact that we disagree on everything, but we were, pleasantly having fun, enjoying the fact that we can laugh at it, and being able to laugh at a lack of agreement. It's kind of
that's healing.
Something that's been gone for a while,
a long time.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's that's interesting. The fact that maybe even the left can start to see that Justin Trudeau's on his way out, and he needs to be on his way out.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have to keep talking for a minute. I'm just
How does the Justin Trudeau cookie taste? A little tough on the mouth, or not too bad?
Well, I mean, it's great if you're in a calorie deficit.
2020.
One other story. One other quick
story. All right.
So, one of my sisters works at this progressive organization, very progressive. And when they were all leaving and saying, okay, we'll have Merry Christmas, and there's probably a bunch of happy holidays, one of her colleagues had said, please enjoy your 2-week reprieve from work. So, hey, have a Merry Christmas. Please enjoy your 2-week reprieve from work. So they were going so far out of their way to be as PC as possible that they didn't even want to say happy holidays, let alone Merry Christmas. And she was like, it's kind of a bit much at this point. And I'm looking at her like, you're going to be an extremist in a year. You don't know it yet. But there's a crack in the wall.
I gotta here, let's pull it up. How am I gonna do this? Come on, Sean. Figure it out here. Here we go. So really? You suck, internet images. Let's try that instead. So Mel and I watched the other night. It's Christmas Party. There. I'll try and pull it up here so people can see what the heck I'm talking about. And
is this new?
No, 2016.
Okay.
It's got Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston, and there's well, of course.
Is that with Seth Rogen too?
No, Seth Rogen's in a different one. This is that guy right there. Can you see that guy?
Oh yeah. TJ something or other.
TJ Miller. Jason Bateman, Olivia Munn, TJ Miller, on and on and on and on. Jennifer Aniston, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, the HR lady in it is like wearing a full-on non-denominational shirt. So it has like every possible denomination on it so that it can't be offensive in the workplace. That's 2016.
Yep.
It made me laugh so hard. Because I'm like, in 2016, they were poking fun already about the fact that you couldn't, do certain things, say certain things. And it all starts off with this pretty girl with a low-cut shirt. And she's like, you can't do that. That's offensive in the workplace. And then they start to have it out. One of the greatest movie scenes I've seen, like my hat, like that, folks, if you want to go watch, I mean, it's a bit ridiculous, the entire story, obviously. But the lady with all the, can't be offensive to anyone, that's 8 years ago. 8 years ago, they were already starting to poke fun of it. You think of where we are in 2024.
See, they backslid though. 8 years ago, they were laughing about it, but that movie wouldn't have got made anytime between 2020 and now.
I don't know.
It might get made next year, but no, they went out like.
You think between 2020 and 2024, they stopped making fun of that
stuff? Yeah, they stopped having fun. They stopped laughing at things that were funny. It was more about the message than it was about anything else.
Yeah, you might be right there. You might be.
Look at the Acolyte.
Careful, Twos. A turtle cookie might be laced. You guys are the best.
Hey, you know what? This cookie costs taxpayers like $3 billion.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man, she made a small fortune off of Trudeau cookies. Trudeau cookies. Oh man. I want to bring up one other thing. This time of year, we'll get back to. I'm sure Twos has a headline or something as he's chomping down on. One of the things you're not supposed to do on air is fill your mouth full, because I got to sit there and wait for Twos to finish chewing his. At least he is. Does he have one? Like, I think, it's like manners. Does Twos have manners on this show, folks? I don't think so. Except for when he's chewing and he's got his mouth full. He's like, "Could you talk? My mouth is full." I'm like, "Really? That's the one thing? Okay, fair enough. All right." This time of year,
look at this one. It's even got his standard eyebrow. You know how they get bumped around in the cookie box, right?
Twos' breakfast on Festivus. I can't even say it. Turdo cookies. Why can't I say that? Turdo. I don't know. I don't know why that word's so weird. This time of year on this side of things, I don't watch a ton of hockey. I don't anymore. Like I try, but I don't. Playoffs is a little different, but Canada.
Are you talking World Juniors?
World Juniors, yeah, World Juniors. They won last night 4-0, and I'm not a big.
Who did they play?
Finland.
Oh,
yeah, yep. And on Christmas Eve, I think this was new this year. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
No, Christmas Eve's been around for like
couple
thousand years.
No,
dude.
your mouth is full. Could you stop talking for a sec? They did the women's world champion finals that night. It was Canada versus the United States, and honestly, I thought it was a clever night. I'm not saying that I want to, if I want a ton of things around Christmas, but we sat and watched the probably last 10 minutes into overtime, and love or hate women's hockey. That's up for you to decide. I thought it was anytime you have best on best and it's winner take all. Right? We sat and watched the last probably 15 minutes. I thought that was pretty cool. Canada got the gold medal.
How many dudes were in it?
That's a good question. I don't think any this time around.
Did one player score 7 goals?
No one player scored 7 goals. I don't think.
Then probably there were no dudes. You guys ever feel like CBC should be defunded?
CBC should be defunded. Cheryl McDonald. Speaking of Xmas movies, I turned into the 2 new. I assume she meant I tuned into 2 new ones, and they both had Satan in them. I'm assuming the Jack Black one, and what's the other one? I don't even. What new Christmas movies are there this year?
I don't. Well, I mean, if you had a Jack Black one, presumably there'd be some kind of a Tenacious D thing, and then Dave Grohl is famously playing Satan in that whole thing.
Well, I think in that one, the preview I saw of that one, Red one with The Rock and whoever. Satan's in that one? Really? Oh, that's weird. A kid misspells Santa and writes a letter to Satan in one, and that's the one with Jack Black. Yes.
Yeah. See, that's kind of fun and interesting. And then of course it would be even better if also there was another kid who made another spelling error and there was a brief cameo by Carlos Santana. But yeah, next time you're thinking about defunding the CBC, ask how you're ever going to get riveting, absolutely on point news like vintage upright pianos are meeting in Sorian
Oh,
because they're
man.
impossible to give away because they are so heavy. So
Upright pianos.
Yep.
I didn't-
Yep. CBC made an article about this, and we paid for it, talking about how upright pianos are fucking heavy. And because they're heavy, they're hard to move. And because of that, there's so much hassle that usually when you don't want to have one anymore, you have to give it away because that's the only way you can get rid of them.
Yeah, we do. I can't. Well, I don't know. News story.
That's.
Oh, Kevin's gonna hop on. Hey, so I keep putting the link out there. If anyone wants to hop on, ask a question, have a thought on the mashup, we're gonna allow them in for it's Festivus. We want to have a little bit of fun. So, Kevin,
Good to
Good
see
to
you.
see
Hey, good to see you too. How are you?
happy Festivus, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all the
Happy
things.
Festivus. I had to run around and find a shirt and a hat so I could be presentable. So
No.
it took a little while.
You could have just left. Can you imagine? He shows up. Who's the dude from Trailer Park Boys that I can't? Randy, isn't it? Yeah, he could have been Randy Bobandy. I mean, you don't have the gut, but you know. Kevin, what do you have for us this morning?
Well, you guys were saying earlier that Trudeau would be unemployable.
Mhm.
Danielle Smith would hire him 100%. She has a track record of these things.
Ooh.
You're thinking he could work with Allison Redford?
Absolutely. And Anne McClellan, because, she was super popular back in the day, too, on that committee. And you guys you forget the Chief Strong Eagle Man. Chief
Strong Eagle Man.
I have promoted him because I am also not Cree. So.
Oh, yep. Actually, that makes you just as credible. Yep.
Thank you. So. What else? Oh, and for your opening, I was instructed to mention that Spencer goes by Servant, not Spencer Richard, for his promotional stuff. So,
okay.
If people are wondering, the reason we have the new intro right now is it comes through Kevin. So Kevin knows a guy now. Servant? Is that what we're saying?
yep. That's
like
what he goes
Spencer
by.
Servant or just Servant?
No,
Servant's his handle.
Servant the Red on X, because he was trying to get
Red.
Jordan Peterson to hype up the one video about it was called the 7 Rules for Life.
Okay.
And
there you go.
He was working Jordan Peterson to get his contacts, but he promoted a different one. So
easier said than done, from what I've heard.
We're still working on it.
It's apparently a journey to get there, so keep trying. You'll get there.
It's been pretty much a 4-year journey, folks. We're still working on it on this side.
Yeah, or you could just be like Revenue Canada and do whatever the hell you want. You guys hear that they're going to enforce the capital gains proposed legislation that never actually passed? Remember we talked about the capital gains taxes changing?
Yes.
Well, that never actually went through. It's still in the proposal stage, but Revenue Canada is treating it as though it has.
So you got hosed when you sold your house then?
Well, it wouldn't apply to that anyway. Yeah.
They're going to enforce it even though it hasn't passed. How's that legal? How does that even make any sense?
Why are you under the presumption that something that the government, let alone Revenue Canada, needs to do things that are illegal and or B make sense?
It's true, but that really doesn't make sense to us.
Yes, that is correct. But it doesn't negate any of their it's completely irrelevant to the argument here. Does it make sense? No. Do they give a shit? No.
Fair enough. Kevin, any final questions, thoughts before we kick you off? This is I don't know any other way to do it. I'm going to bring people on. I'm going to kick them off. Mm-hmm. Happy Festivus, airing of grievances.
Well, happy Festivus. I still think Sean Pronounces Things would be the greatest mashup segment ever. I'm just
like a supercut.
You could do a supercut, or you could just we'll all submit random names of places and stuff. And,
yeah.
It could work. I'm just saying.
You're all a bunch of assholes. But in saying that, I would have fun with it. So I tell you what, Kevin, you find a name every single week, and that's how we'll start it. All right. Mashup 139 in the new year. We'll start. We're going to look for Kevin to submit a name. Sean's going to have to pronounce it. We'll see if it catches some fire or grabs legs or whatever slogan you want.
Mhm.
And
I would say the first one right now, but it would give you a cheat code, so can't have that.
Okay. Leave them hanging.
I tell you what, when you get off of this, type it in the comments and I'll read it off. How's that?
All right.
Done. All right.
All right.
Kevin, thanks for hopping on. Thanks for being a guy who answers the call.
Thanks,
Thanks,
you,
man.
gentlemen. Appreciate you guys.
Happy Festivus.
Happy Festivus.
There you go. We had one answer the call this year.
All right.
We're trying to work out the kinks on this side, to have a little bit of fun with you fine folks.
I mean, the thing about it is, first off, a bunch of people aren't going to be that interested. And secondly, we didn't really do a great job of announcing that we were going to be coming
because
on 2 hours early.
we weren't supposed to be coming on 2 hours early. We weren't. We were supposed to be coming on at the regular time. And then, with less than 12 hours, things change. Things change. You get called an idiot. You're like, all right, we're going early.
Yep. Well, I mean, there's
2025. We got like 9 minutes left, twos.
Okay.
Maybe 10, 11, somewhere in there. 2025. What do you want to see in 2025 other than a federal election? You can either do, oh my God. Is that really? Okay. Tantalon, Nova Scotia. Am I remotely
I'm
correct?
guessing it seems fairly straightforward, which means that it probably isn't. It's probably like Tantallon or Tantalon or something like that.
I don't know.
But I want to see Tantal is how it's pronounced. I want to
Tantal.
see.
No on? How does that even make sense? Why? That doesn't make sense to me. All right.
He says
Tantalon.
Tantalon.
So I was close, right? I think I said that was. I don't know.
This isn't horseshoe, Sean.
Okay.
I want to see things
2025
get so progressively bad. Not that I wish bad things to happen, but I wish for the things that people voted for to happen. Let's respect democracy. So I want to see things like cars crashing into jewelry stores. And I want to see, where is it? I want to see crazy people smashing up jewelry stores in the middle of Walmart. I want to see all of this stuff get so bad that the people who voted for it were like, you know what? Let's never do this again. Because here's the thing: it's one thing to just be like, well, you know what? Let's try something else for a little while. It's another thing for things to get so bad for so many people that there's this collective, let's never fucking do this at all ever again. And that's what I want to see from 2025. All this crazy progressive shit that the Liberals and the NDP have been telling us that we're on the wrong side of history about. I want it all to just be unequivocally condemned forever. For things to get so bad.
Oh, Michael Clausen.
For so many people.
He's watching us because we're getting that. We're hearing what's coming through your computer. Michael Clausen, thanks for hopping on. Second guy to answer the call.
Hey, Michael, can you hear us?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, good. Well, gentlemen, I first wanted to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas.
But like what you were talking about, the smash and grabs and the destruction of society as it continues to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of like a catch-22 because we're going to be seeing the left in the United States react negatively. I don't think they can react positively with Trump. And so we're going to have that influence in Canada. And I think we're going to see Trudeau, not the cookie form, really push hard at hanging on to that very last thread.
Yep.
But it seems like he's actually pulling on the sword of Damocles. It's not just like hanging over him that could drop at a moment. That's my 2 cents.
I think that's probably a really good point. Is that
Hopefully I can hear you guys.
Okay, well, I'm agreeing with you. Yes, I agree with you. I think that you're going to see a lot of things get really, really bad, or really, really bad things get proposed, and it's going to be one of those situations where he makes everything so much worse on his way out. We talked about how he's kind of just raising the crops as he retreats, so that the incoming army has nothing to live off of. But also, his last few things are gonna be so bad that it's just gonna be the last few nails in his coffin. And so he's not gonna go out gracefully. It's gonna be a disaster, and I'm here for every moment of it.
It will be a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
Michael, any final thoughts before I boot you off?
Oh yeah, please do.
I kind of like this. I don't even have to buzz them out. Like, I'm just going to start kicking people out. I kind of like this. Michael, any final thoughts?
No, just God bless you all. And I think we'll see some altars get knocked over in 2025. That's what I'm thinking.
Merry Christmas, Michael. Thanks for answering the call and hopping on this side.
Oh, you bet. It was a blast.
Thanks.
Talk to you later.
Have a good one.
This is if we had 2 hours, I'd probably give people 5 minutes or something. I don't know. Someday I hope I got 50 people sitting there waiting, and it's just like boop, 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 boop. Because it'd be a ton of fun, Festivus, to have all the different people hopping on and give us their 2 cents. I kind of like the airing of the grievances or the thoughts on the coming year. 2025. I don't know. Twos wants to see more smash and grabs and et cetera, et cetera.
Well,
it's
not
bad.
that I want to see more smash and
understand
grabs.
where you're
I
going.
just want it to play out exactly. I want them to get everything they've voted for.
If I could have now, I'll give viewers or listeners my thoughts. Okay, so I have work being done starting January 6th on the new podcast studio.
Nice.
So that is, I don't know if I've said that aloud yet, but there it is.
Well, you've talked about it.
So that's happening.
Mhm.
And here's something cool for the listeners. Okay, if you want to contribute to it, meaning you're skilled in a trade that could come in and help, or you're like, I'm sitting in Nova Scotia, I'd love to send $50 your way. You can get your name. I'm building a wall that's going to have all people's names on it that have contributed it. And my hope is the question for the live stream for election coverage, for federal election coverage, we're probably going to have to do it here, I assume, because we're going to want the best internet quality humanly possible. And I don't know if I'll trust Starlink to that. But at the same time, it'd be cool to do the new election out of the new studio. So that's coming in 2025.
If it happens quickly, you may not have an option.
It's true. 2, Cornerstone Forum happens in May. Early bird tickets are on until December 31st. You should do that. We just announced Martin Armstrong is going to be there in person this year. I think that's notable, along with everybody else that's coming. We have federal election coverage. I'm going to put that as October. I got to go back. Oilers win the cup in June. That's my prediction this year. And we're going to have federal election in October. I just don't trust any of these politicians to do it any sooner. Everybody can tell me it's coming sooner. I don't trust it. I'll believe it when I see it. Those would be the 4 big things, I think, I don't know, coming from this side when I stare at where we're at.
I'm just really hoping that it goes to the point where Trudeau loses his own seat and they don't get official party status.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be
well,
something?
Here's the thing: is there's significant financial implications to that too.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be incredible.
You know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see the Calgary Flames make the playoffs just so they could play the Oilers. That's what I'd like to see too. I'd like to see Battle of Alberta. I think it'd be healthy for Alberta. Not for the Calgary Flames fans. But yeah, I think that'd be fun too.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be another one where they all go all the way to the final. Shirts off for Kiprusoff.
Maybe. Twos, Festivus. We're drawing to an end.
Yep.
Any final thoughts?
What do you got? Yeah, what do you got?
It's been a fun year. I've been thinking about it. You know, like we're up to episode. I mean, we've done the special edition. We've done some live election coverages, et cetera, et cetera. We, you know, we roughly did. Well, I think we've done 52. Actually, we've done more than that because of the live election coverages and everything else. But we're at 139 next week, I believe.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you extrapolate that out. We're going to close in on 200. We're not going to quite get there. You know, what does that mean? Doesn't mean a whole lot. Just you know, always curious, you know, with the number. And we saw some different hosts come in. We saw you know, we saw some different things from the mashup over the course of the year, which I always I love trying new things. That's how this whole bloody thing started.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been talking some different things we'd like to try. One of them, you know, got its test here. You know, we couldn't figure out a way to get people to phone call in. So, you know, to have a couple guys hop on and give their thoughts, I think that's something I would love to see more of. I like interacting with people who watch. I like them commenting. I like, you know, I like that. I think that's a real interesting thing we need to flush out here in 2025.
We have some really great people watching this show, and it's very much appreciated. I saw JJ McCullough put this thing up on Twitter today. I don't know if I can find it. But he was like, hey, a listener sent me this. So he says, a viewer sends me a list of plausible Canadian negotiation points for a future Canada-U.S. merger. I don't know if these would necessarily be my sticking points personally, but I could definitely see some of these being the sorts of things Ottawa would insist upon. And they're just stupid. Like, you go into these, each one must have separate statehood with an exclamation mark. This gives Canada 20 U.S. senators rather than 2 exclamation mark. French must be made co-official with English, at least on the federal level. This would force the issue with Spanish as well, given there would be more Spanish speakers than French speakers in the combined entity, exclamation mark. Existing Canadian money must be honored or exchanged at par, exclamation mark. You could never do that. And just everything with exclamation marks all the way through. The constitutionality of the existing single-payer system must be guaranteed and must be phased in over no more than 7 years in the entire land. And you just read this, and you're like, these are the people that listen to his show that they find, and it's embarrassing. Like, he's got to realize it's embarrassing. And we, on the other hand, have the best fans out there. So
we do.
We appreciate it.
We certainly do.
So anyway, I don't know. That's basically it. I mean, thank you for everybody that's been tuning in all year, the election coverage, all that.
If there's something, you know, if there's something off the top of your mind, you're like, you guys could do this better. You could have this. You could add this in. We're always interested in new ideas and trying different things out. We're certainly searching and working on theme music and different things that way. You know, there's been a lot of suggestions out there on how to make the show better.
Bonspiel.
Yeah. But Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. Festivus, you know, the grown-up version of Festivus this year. Coffee at 8 a.m. I mean, can you get any better than that? I don't know.
Yeah, scotch at 10, but sure.
Twos, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas,
we're going to catch up
everybody.
on you 139 in a week's time. Folks, thanks for tuning in this morning. And, well, we'll catch up to you next week.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys later. Sean hit the wrong button, so that was funny. We'll see you guys later.
I mean, we'll see you guys later. Sean pressed the wrong button. Well, that's one way to end it, folks, eh? That's one way to end it. Oh, boy.
Welcome to the Mashup.
Tell me whether I'm wrong or right. East or west, up or down, side to side. I sit to stand and fall to fly. Of all of my impulsive plans, popping, locking, salsa dances on demand. I follow leading off the map, and stop the chatter, scream happily.
Welcome to the mashup.
Welcome to the mashup. Welcome to the mashup.